Hello friends, good morning. Welcome back to our channel ALP Talk. This is your Lakshmurthy. So today we are going to discuss basic substation configurations and the components and other detailed manner. So if you're watching this video for the first time, please subscribe to this channel so that whenever I'm uploading videos, you will get notification. Yeah, let's move into the topic. So please subscribe this. And if you have any questions or comments or anything, then please comment in comment section. These are so that I can make a better clarity for you. So substation configuration and its component. Whatever you are watching here on the right side, the image is the substation, which is the elevated view. So power generation system, how the power is generated and all the different types of grounding, types of substation and substation equipment. This is what we are going to discuss now. So power generation systems, what are things are there? Types of power generation system. We have nuclear, we have fossil fuel, we have hydro, and we have wind, and we have solar. So these are the different things we have. And then, so this is about the nuclear power generation. So nuclear reaction turns water into the steam turns turbines turns the generator producing electricity. This is what the general trend we are using in the nuclear power generation. So you can see it here. So this is the reaction vessel. So we have uranium fuel placed inside the reactor. So we have control rod for controlling the speed of the neutron speed of the ions here. So we have steam generator here, whatever the steam is generating, so we can you use for running the turbine. So here in turbine we have steam lines. So we have pump here for feeding the water, and we have entire containment building. It is with a very concrete wall. We have reactor vessel. So whatever residue is there from the pump from the turbine, that we will go send to the condenser, cooling water. So we have a tower here, water vapor. So that is a cooling water tower. So warm water is at inlet, and cool water, the vapors will go out. So whatever the electricity is generated, it is generated here. So we have transformer, step-up transformer we will use for the grid. So this is the electricity. So cold water basin pump, we have cold water source also, generally lakes, rivers, we will use it. So this is about the nuclear generation. So let's go to the fossil fuel power. We have it uses coal, oil, and gas to turn water into steam that turns the turbines. So we have generating the electricity and sending it to the power grid. So here is the river. We have coal here. We will use the coal into the boiler. We will say furnace. So whatever water is there, that water will goes into the boiler in the form of pipes, and it will come out. So in the process, it will absorb the heat and it will convert to the steam. The steam we will use here for rotating this is a turbine. So the turbine is coupled to the alternator. So alternator they will generate the electricity, and we will use transformer. So here we have condenser, cooling water. So these are all normal things that is we can observe at any power plant. Yeah, this is the hydroelectric power plant. Here there is no smoke, nothing, no heat, nothing. So here water is the stored energy. So this is the reservoir. We have water here. Whatever water we have stored it here on the dam, so that water will flows to the turbine through penstock. And also here we have generator. So due to that force of water, the generator will generate the power. We will say this is the power plant. Due to this head only electricity is producing here. We are also we can use the transformer, and yeah, that's what here. So then release it into the spin turbine, which activates generator to produce electricity. This is the about hydroelectric power. So let's discuss about wind energy. Wind turns the rotor, generator couples to the generator, voltage is increased by the transformer, power is fed to the grid. This is the sequence actually, whatever the wind is there, the turbine will simply rotate. This is the gearbox. We will have very small generator, generally we will say induction generator at the nozzle. So we have power cables here. So we have a tower here, say this is the concrete tower. So we can have small transformer, sometimes transformer can be outside, sometimes transformer can be inside also. This is the switch yard. Yeah, this is where wind energy is getting generated. So let's go to solar power. Here it is very simple. So whatever solar radiations from the sun is there, that will whenever that falls on the solar panel, so solar panel will generate electric current. That electric current we will give to the charge controller. Based on the charge controller, it will go to the battery system and all. So based on that, it can go to the inverter. So we can use the AC power. Otherwise, directly from battery system, we can use DC power. So the whatever the electrons are there, that will excite, that will be excited whenever this solar radiation, irradiance from the sun falls on these cells. So charge converter sends this battery. So this is about solar power, guys. So we have five major bulk powers in the India. Most of the all these grids are tied together. We have northern grid, western grid, southern grid, eastern grid, and a northern region. So this is the majority grid we have in India. So all were tied together. So this is the substation now. So what is the purpose of substation? So let's discuss it. Substation definition. So this is critical for generation, transmission, and distribution systems. Performs several important switching functions. May have various voltage levels before it reaches the customer. Owned and operated by electrical utility or a large industrial or commercial customer. Usually relying on SCADA for remote supervisory and control. Yeah, this is the substation which will houses the so many components at one place. It can be in incoming terminal, outgoing terminal, all the things it will house at one place. So in our substation, there are different aspects we have to take care actually. So what are those things? So let's see. For example, here we have as per IEEE 80. So we have touch voltage, step voltage, mesh voltage. These are the required for grounding and all. So the difference between ground potential rise and the surface potential at the point where the person is standing, while at the same time having a hand in contact with the grounded structure. We can touch any object. So step voltage. The difference in surface potential experienced by a person bridging a distance if 1 meter with the feet without contacting any other ground object. This is the step voltage. So what is the mesh voltage? This is the maximum touch voltage within a mesh of a ground grid. So these are the basic terminology we will use. So you can see it here some more in a visualization manner, touch and step potential. So here is the person touch potential body current. So whenever he is touching, so whatever the current, you can observe here, the current is flowing through these 1 feet and to the ground. So here the step potential body current. So here it is different. The person is standing. So the whatever the ground current is there, it is flowing to the person through two legs and it coming back. So this is the step potential. So it can be fault or induced current, whatever it can be. So high soil resistivity, high voltage from tower to ground surface. So this is the terminology generally we will use. And we have some earthing arrangement here, earthing materials here. So we have conductors and other connections, rods, fencing. Yeah, all the things are important in the substation. So we will use this is the copper cable. You can see it here. All this entire system internally it is meshed or earthed, we can say. So we have fencing. So at the edge we have fencing. So we have transformer here. So we have some switchgear here. So we have some control room here. So this is the basic setup we will observe in the substation. So all the things we should earth it properly. Yeah. So here you can see conductors and rods. This is a little bit more explanation. Discusses through thoroughly. The standard discusses thoroughly conductor sizes and K factor in relation to faults and all. So current capabilities in cycles, in kiloamps, conductor sizing, choosing a conductor with the relations to the corrosion problems also matters a lot, because every year due to corrosion, whatever the conductor is there, that can keep on deteriorate or reduce the size. So those things also we have to take care. So we have typically copper clad steel or aluminum and or steel. We can use anything we can use for rods point of view. So we have different connections here. Here you can see exothermic, we have mechanical, we have crimped. So these are the different types of clamps or connections we will use in the substation. This is for better conductivity. These are the lugs and all. So we have friends grounding. We have some electricity codes, Indian electricity codes, national electricity codes in USA and other electricity codes. These things we have to use for proper grounding. Yeah, so fence grounding. So fence is within the ground area and is connected to the substation ground. Fence is outside the ground area and is connected to the substation ground. Fence is outside of a ground grid area but is not connected to substation grid. The fence is connected to a separate grounding conductor. So fence outside of grounding area but is not connected to substation ground. Fence is not connected to separate. Yeah, these are the various cases we generally we can observe in the substation. Yeah, this thing we have to take care clearly. So here you can see different things. For example, basic substation layout, incoming substation lines, incoming power path through substations. So lightning, you have see lightning arrestor here. We will have a circuit breakers. So and then we can have a step down transformer. This is the step down transformer. We can have distribution bus, and here we have oil circuit breaker, voltage regulator. We can see metal clad switch gear. We have cutout switches and the control house, outgoing distribution line. So this is the basic substation layout we can see in any substation. So what are the different types of substations are available? So let's discuss about that. Here you have step-up transmission substation. The three-phase power enters a transmission substation at the power plant. Transformers step up to extremely high voltage for long distance. So voltages for long distance transmission range from generally we will say 132 kV to some 765 kV. Here as per ANSI it can be 155 kV to 765 kV. So this substation we can find almost closer to the generation side. So we can have step down substation also located at switching points in an electric grid, connect different parts of grid, a source of sub-transmission lines or distribution lines. These are the step down substation, almost closer to the utility. So we have distribution substation also located near to the end users. So changes the transmission or sub-transmission voltage to very lower value. Distribution voltage generally it can be 34.5 kV or 19.92 or 4160 or 2400 as per ANSI. Otherwise 11 kV, 6.6 kV, 3.3 kV or 1.2 kV or 400 or 433. This can be as per other European practices. So generally blast and burn generally associated with the fault current. So that is the major thing. It can blast out may happen, otherwise burnout may happen with respect to the fault current because current values are heavy. So substation equipment, what are the substation equipment? So important components of the substation with the functions and responsibilities. We have transformers, we have switchgear, so we have circuit breakers, we have overcurrent protective devices, we will find some other relay and metering devices also. So let's discuss few things about each component in the substation. We will have transformers. Transformers rise or lower the voltage to serve transmission or transmission or distribution circuits. Generally, they are rated in power, MVA or KVA. We will have insulation, so that is the cooling type and all. We have voltage rating. We have winding connections. We have voltage regulation, generally tap changes and all. We have cooling design. We have temperature class also. So whatever you are observing here, this is the transformer, upper parts are all the bushings or termination, this is the conservator, this is the cooling fan. So this internally we can see the windings and all. So we have OLDC, so all the things we can observe it here. So this is about the transformer, few things in a simple way. Always review the following transformer data plate for critical information. This is the name plate, for example. We have here 22.5 MVA transformer that, and it is FA rating is 30 MVA, 37.5 MVA. So these are the other ratings. It is triple rated transformer. So these are a few basic things. So their data plates may not always be accurate. Sometimes there may be a little bit wrong also, but you have to take a test to verify the data plate and information matches the transformer. Yeah, we should take care of all the information here. So we have other switchgear equipment also in the substation. Provides equipment protection for transformers, lines, cables, and capacitor bank. This is mainly the protection component. You can see it here. So air braking and all. Use it to energize and de-energize capacitor banks and other circuits. So switchgear can include breakers, disconnect switches, main bus conductors, interconnecting wiring, support structures with the insulators, enclosures, and secondary devices for monitoring and control. Yeah. So what is about circuit breakers? Circuit breakers generally can open the circuit, can close the circuit. Say in normal conditions, it is in closed condition. In our fault arises, it can open the circuit. Yeah, this is about the circuit breaker. So open and close the circuit either automatically or manually, that depends. Automatic breakers operate on a predetermined overload without damage. Circuit breakers are designed to terminate all current very quickly. Arcs are extinguished between 30 and 150 milliseconds after tripped. Yeah, this is about the circuit breakers related. So we have medium voltage circuit breakers and the different varieties are there. So bolted connections to bus bars are wise, especially in outdoor switchyards, often built with a draw-out construction, allows the breaker to be removed using motor operated or a hand cranked mechanism. So generally the mediums will be air, vacuum, SF6 and oil. So what about air breaker? So whatever you are observing here, that is the air breaker. So air blows out the arc into the interruption chamber. Blowout coils assist with the control of the magnetic field, achieving current zero. Here you can see the entire setup here. For example, main interrupter stacks, that is the one, and two is the blown out coils. You can see it here, blown out coils, and blown out magnetic core. This is the blown out magnetic core. This is, we can say, plunger. We have front arc horn. So this is the front arc horn. We have front arc horn. So rear arc horn also is there. So transfer switches and center arc horns and so disconnecting contact. These are the some of the internal features of a air breaker. So vacuum breaker. So this is the one contact. So electrical contacts. So one is stationary contact, another one is a mobile contact here. So metal, we have end plates and also condensing shields. We will have insulating envelope. So with all the flexible elbows, everything is available. So based on the signal it receives, the mobile contact will move or it will be addressed itself. So this will have minimal arcing as the electrician, the vacuum is more far better. Arcing is extinguished when it is stretched. Used in medium voltage switchgear, generally up to 35 kV, we will use this vacuum circuit breaker. So beyond that 36 kV or 33 kV, we will say that SF6 breakers are more important. So we can see here that all the medium is filled with SF6 gas. So sulfur hexafluoride, compressed gas to extinguish the arc. So it is far better when compared to this extinguishing method. We have oil circuit breaker also filled with oil to provide cooling, prevents arcing when the switching is activated. So for example, here is the switching, for example. So we have conductor, we have bushing, we have fixed contact, we have, here is the arc may happen. So moving contact, whatever the moving contact is there, this is the one. So we have oil here. So moving contact, if it is a closing means there is a perfect contact is there, otherwise it is open position. So we have instrumentation transformers also in the substation. So accurate devices used to help isolate or transform voltages, current levels and all. So we will operate instruments or metering from high voltage or high current circuits. Safely isolate secondary control circuit from high voltages or currents. So transformer is connected to the high current circuit and the meter or relay is connected to the secondary circuit. Yeah, two common types of instrumental transformers are generally we will have current transformers, potential transformers. Current transformers will generally step down to 2 amp or 5 amp or 1 amp, something like that. So potential transformer generally it will step down to 120 volts or so, or 115 volts, something like that. So these are the measures we will use in these systems. So we have current transformers provides the secondary current and accurately proportional to the current flowing in its primary. Yeah, that's the normal thing. So potential transformers we will used in system for stepping down a voltage to a safe value for low rating meters and relays. So there are some safety basics also. Whenever we are entering into substation, we should need a proper PPE. We should close all the gates. We should observe all warning signs. So we only qualified persons should enter the substation. So all the overhead conductors will be there. We should exercise precautions whenever entering into the substation. It may hit our head. It's better to wear helmets also. Yeah, after the coming out of the substation, leave it clean and neat. That is most important. So summary. Yeah, types of power generating systems. This is what we discussed. Essential pieces of substation grounding, types of substations and functions, substation equipment, roles and responsibilities. Yeah, this is about this presentation, guy. I hope you enjoyed this content. Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments or anything, then please comment in comment section. I'm ready to make any videos on that. Thank you, guys. We will meet in next video. Bye.